Testing 1 2. Hello. Well, I don't have much to say. Wow. Oh, that's cool. So greetings, Earthling.
Hello, hello.
Hello. It's a Sunday, so yesterday has been rambunctious, and Friday. I didn't know that. I forgot we're doing a Friday night, so it really kicked off pretty wild, and I thought, okay. And Sunday's like the day where you go, okay, what's going on? So yes.
So we kind of just let the audience take it away. So if you have any questions, just raise your hand.
Oh, the other guy mentioned about an icebreaker question that you were supposed to ask me.
Oh, I was?
Yes.
Oh.
Should I ask? I can make the icebreaker question to ask myself.
Go for it.
Hey, so how are you? Oh, I'm great. Boy, it took me a while to get here. So, did I break the ice?
Beautiful.
Okay, so what's your question?
No. How do you feel about being in Shreveport? How's it been this weekend?
Wow. Last night I went to Zuzula. You guys know Zuzula? Zuzula? Right?
I don't know either.
I don't want to say it wrong because then I don't want to be like cursed or anything. Right?
That's further south.
Yeah.
The cursing's further south.
Oh, like in Nolens?
Yeah.
Notice how I said Nolens? Is that not New Orleans?
Yeah.
Right. So we did the ice breaking question already. So did it break it really well?
Yeah, I think we broke it.
I think we broke it. I think we're breaking the internet at this very moment. So I did that, and then I know some people have been asking me about the casinos. So there's more than one, yes?
Oh, yes.
Several. You gamblers, you. I like to just like blow that money. So it's a little difficult because we're here at the Comic-Cons, and by the time we are done, we are so exhausted because we're meeting and spending time with each and every one of you, or people who show up as guests. I've done some cons where it's easy enough to just sit down on a chair and just sign the pictures away and not even look up and go next, because I've seen that before, and I never want to. I feel there's a sense of responsibility to be able to not only connect with people, but to remind people that connection is so important. So I really honor the moments and the time that I have with each and every one of you. Because if we only have about 100 years in our lifetime, then the moment truly is now. And that's all we have. And like, how is life right now? And then we get attacked by zombies, and then we look like a zombie.
Look like that.
and then it's over. And the question is, did you enjoy your life? Did you live it to the fullest? And I'm hoping that you all do. I'm trying my best when I can. Like those wirings like underneath that camera. However, that's set up. Like, dude, okay. So does that answer that question? What was the question?
You did great.
No, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody got a question?
Like, life is great. Like, what are you doing right now?
I mean, there's so many jokes right now. I'm sitting here in a panel talking to you guys.
What are you working on? What can you tell us without having to kill us?
Okay, because you say that, and my head goes like it just spins because so the life of an actor is when you're working on a set, you have about like 4 weeks of just focusing on several different compartments. The first part is actually the state where you're working in, because you really got to take in, okay, where am I at? What location? Okay, the second part is the production team. You're working with a director, a writer, producer, a bunch of actors, the extras, the camera guys, the writers, the executive producers, the investors. They're all on a set, and it becomes a community, and you're working with them every single day. And they're there just to set everything up so that they could put me in front of the camera lens so I could say, hey. So, and then the third part is all in my head. When I'm working with another actor and I'm doing the scene, I'm so invested into that character and that world that it becomes so true to me. And so when they say cut, it goes away. And then the director goes, well, give me some notes or whatsoever. Or I'll work with the other actor and go, how did I feel? You want to do it again? Yeah, let's do it again. Let's see how much further we can live in the moment. All right. And it becomes something else. And that's when you know that you're hitting the sweet spot of acting. When you all have experienced this. When you get on a roller coaster, there's the first moment when you first sit down, you're like, am I really doing this? All right. You're like, yeah, it's cool. And then the guys, you're like, whatever, until they lock you in and they're like, all right. And you're like, what am I doing? And then you start to go up and you're like, yeah, this is cool. Yeah. It's that first drop, your brain's going, oh shit! And you're going through it, and then it just seems to be going faster and faster, and then when it whips on those turns and those banks, you're like, yeah, dude. That's when you're living in that moment, and that's what you want to do when you're working as an actor and when you're doing these scenes. When you're connected to that present moment at that exact time, then that's the right idea, because the camera's recording everything. I think that's the difference between great movies to good movies. The great movies are the movies that we all can sit for a little over 2 hours and experience together with strangers. Because remember, like when you go to the movie theaters, right? You're in that big room full of strangers, eating hot dogs and popcorn, but you're so drawn into the picture that it takes you away from normal life, and you're living that life. So I hope that I can do that as an artist. But besides having to do work on sets, once I get back to my house, I do owe my life to my cat. I do have a cat, a black cat. Her name is Houdini. She's like the goofiest cat.
So you're a cat dad, not a dog dad.
So, well, I mean, it's. I have sort of like a Zen garden. I'm like, so bougie. I'm like, I got a Zen garden. You know how it goes. Keanu Reeves goes in my backyard and works out because it's like we fight together, and it's so sweet. So no, it's where I live in Los Angeles is on the borders of the mountains and the borders of the city. Close to the studios, and so there's a lot of raccoons and possums and Sally the skunk shows up, and my squirrels, Harvey and Little Lucy. So they all have names because they're like my audience. Then they're like, dude, you're overacting. Relax, dude. Relax. So, but it's a safe haven, and it's where I work. I sit at my table and I have my scripts before me. And my job, I think a difficult moment is being able to get several scripts and picking out what direction I want to take. Because I'll take a script and I go, okay, I have to clear my mind up any other thing that I'm focusing on and go, what is this world? What are these characters? Can I live honestly with this story? Sometimes stories kind of lack a third act, or the character is not, I don't want to say fully fleshed out, but is he really facing up to his greatest challenge? And that's the thing. You can make a movie and it's be okay. The reason why it's okay because the circumstances are not dire enough where it becomes life-threatening. And that's what makes a movie so iconic. An example, you think about life-threatening. How's Pedro's life threatened when he's doing Napoleon Dynamite? But something that will alter a character's life forever. And in a case like a movie like Napoleon Dynamite, Pedro is just some guy who enters a new world that he's not familiar with, and he's not accustomed to anyone, but befriends this guy who's just completely different. And in that friendship, they help each other's dreams come true, which reminds me of a movie called Midnight Cowboy with John Voight and Dustin Hoffman, right? John Voight leaves Texas and he goes to New York. And in New York, he befriends the character by Ratso Rizzo, played by Dustin Hoffman. And as different as they are, they help each other's dreams come true in their adventures in life. And I'm like, that's the same exact story with Napoleon and Pedro. So, I just hoped that as an actor, I'm able to fulfill the demands of the characters created by the writer who was director Jared Andrew Shahesh. And one of the actors who I look up to, who I don't think I'll ever say it in his face, is Jonathan Grice, who played Uncle Rico. Because Uncle Rico, as we know, some of you guys will know, he was Laszlo in Real Genius. He was the wolf in Monster Squad, and he was a White Lotus. That guy is a character actor, and he works all the time. I admire character actors because they play so many different characters in different worlds. So, and for me, when I did Napoleon Dynamite, it was my first big project, and I wasn't so sure. Bless you. I wasn't so sure. So I asked him for some advice, and he helped me with that. And then because you always want to do justice for the characters you play. But over the years, I keep growing and I keep learning something new. Even now, when I'm here, here with some of the actors, I did a series with Dana, Ash versus Evil, and working on a project with her, and she's, actors, sometimes when I'm not in the scene, I'll step away and I look at what they're doing, and I question, how do they do that? how do they play that reality so honest and so true? And I forget, and I go, oh wait, I do that too. So when I'm not reading a script, right, or working on sets, I'm doing a play, whether I'm doing a comedy or a drama, because I think that's where everything should start. And it really, it's like going to the gym and you're really working out your mind, your body, your heart, your voice. It's a kind of development where you truly get stronger with the work that you do in order to live a life that's unknown to you. So I always want to stay marveled at with such curiosity that I could learn something new. When I'm not doing that, I'm doing a tour with the guys, with John Grice and John Heater, Napoleon and Uncle Rico, and we travel all over the country doing this Napoleon Dynamite tour where we screen the movie, but then we do a whole show, and the audience are dressed up as the characters. Some dad was dressed up as a llama. The last like, I said, yeah, sure, right. It's always funny when I see a whole family and everyone's dressed up as Rex Kwando, and you're like, and you have the 4-year-old going, oh, you didn't say. I'm like, oh, okay. So that's always nice. We had a show up in Northern California, and I looked at a woman and I was like, wow, she looks like Starla. And it's because she was. We're like, dude, Starla's here. So we put her on stage and she was like, I think she can beat me up. Still. So we do the tours, and it's amazing that after 20 years, Napoleon Dynamite still holds strong. So and besides that, I work as a celebrity DJ. Before Napoleon Dynamite, in case some of you guys were wondering, like, oh yeah, it's a DJ or what? So I used to do a lot of rave events in Los Angeles. And so I had a company called Nocturnal Rampage, and it was cool. We have headliners, and we would have electro and drum and bass and happycore and hardcore, hard house and hard style. But it was funny because I had a rave, and I had just done Napoleon Dynamite, and so I called the studios and I go, hey guys, can you guys send me some stuff of Napoleon Dynamite? And they said, sure. And they sent me boxes of all this swag. I had these Boca Pedro t-shirts and watches and pens, what else? Lighters, original posters. And so in the middle of a rave, I stop the music and go, okay guys, so you guys know me by the company, but I got a movie coming out. It's called, what's it called? Napoleon Dynamite. I played Pedro. Does anybody want a t-shirt? Sure. So I'm at a rave and like a bunch of people wearing, at a rave with glow sticks with the Vote for Pedro t-shirt. Well, as they left in the morning, they were like, giving the posters. I'm like, do you want a poster? They're like, okay. Nobody thought anything of it. They all had all these servers. They're like a Napoleon Dynamite watch. Who wears that? So, what is this? So it was only after the movie, when the movie blew up, it changed everything. Because I was no longer Efren Ramirez. I became Pedro and I was a celebrity. And I'm like, no, we used to rave together, guys. Well, I'm that same dude. But now it's like I travel all over the world and I DJ, which is pretty sweet. Because I love music, I love art, I love anything, that has to do with being able to find some form of expression, whether it's through music or movies or through painting. Because that's what life truly is about. Having to see the beauty in what we can create together. And then when I'm not doing that, I'm rewriting scripts or I'm spending time with my family and friends who I love so dear. For me, my days are like water, and so I really cherish moments like this because at some point, within 50 years, I hope to see you guys again and go, remember this? Remember when we did this, panel and it was just the two of us? Because this is our life. You guys are experiencing it. I've been saying this, while I've been at my table. You guys get to walk around the floors and see so much art. You get to see people dressed up in costumes. I love your outfits. It's like a form of expression, a form of creativity, and I'm like, wow. If I was a little kid, I'd be like, I would like to just sleep here. These are some magical moments that you want to hold dear to your hearts, because you later on in life, you're gonna go, yeah, I was there, and that's cool. So, does that answer the question? What my life is like?
Okay.
Yeah. Hello, Riddler.
Desperately need a Vote for Pedro movie where Pedro runs for presidency of the United States of America.
Oh my God. I'm here.
Who do I have to fight to get that to happen?
Great idea.
And
My mom.
And who's gonna write this? We've got to get a good writer for it.
Am I allowed to say that? Wait, I'm thinking about my lawyers right now. Legal matters.
How many NDAs have you
Okay.
signed recently?
Oh, dude. Every year we get, I get so many. Okay, since we're gonna jump on this one real quick, is that I just did a whole campaign for the Gap with John Heater. So, and my friends in New York and LA are sending me, because, they're going shopping. And at the Gap, they have billboards of this John Heater and me. I'm like, oh, my big head. So, but yeah, and so when we did, the campaign, it's a bunch of little kids are doing like a dance competition, and they dance to Jamiroquai, and I play the director, and John Heater's the choreographer, and I'm like, all right, cut, all right, and we need some more boom, boom, kaboom, and it's hilarious, and so. But we signed so many NDAs, and then there's the contracts, and then after the contracts is the NDAs, and after the NDAs is the good behavior clause. They have so much. I'm like, dude, what am I gonna rob a bank? Relax. Yeah, I get good behavior, all of that. It's changed, but I guess everyone's worried, and I get it. But of course, it's also, I want to respect the people who I'm working with, and I also want to have some self-respect, and and lead with goodness. And that's the thing, we all can lead with goodness. So as far as your question is concerned, I was approached by a studio, and they wanted to create a whole world just on Pedro Sánchez alone with the writers. But Fox was like, this is ours. so they would
So
not.
I need to fight Fox.
No, now you need to fight Disney. Right.
Right there.
Right. Which, I mean, if they could have it their way, they'd probably put Napoleon and Pedro in a mix up with Deadpool and Wolverine. And that's the only thing I can say about that. So, without getting in trouble. So, yes.
Kind of piggyback off of his question, but where, I guess I'm kind of asking you and Pedro, where
Yes.
based off where the movie ended, you know, got Napoleon playing the ball with the girl and everything. Where do you see Pedro now, based off the way the movie ended? Where would you see him now?
Well, he's with cartel or something. No, I'm kidding. He had the whole operation. No, dang. It just became like Breaking Bad with Pedro. Oh, you met Mr. White. I'm Mr. Brown. Dang. Okay. I'm both the good guy and the villain. Okay. So many jokes on that. We talk about that all the time. You know, what would be the future of the characters, and if there a possibility of a sequel, where would they be? And would it be like right after? I mean, it'd be ridiculous. Me, my first year in college, looking like this. Like, the heck? Wait, is he a professor? No, it's my first year. So,
Professor
right.
Pedro would be pretty cool though.
Yeah, I feel like driving Uncle Rico's band. So as we entertain the idea, somebody like Napoleon would possibly be maybe divorced with 2 kids, right? Maybe the 2 kids would be, Debs, and she's probably in New York working on photography and working for Vogue magazine or something like that. And he's got braces, and he doesn't wear the moon boots anymore, and his curls are kind of getting straight, but he's like still out of luck and just like just trying to figure life out. Uncle Rico would be like coaching like backyard wrestling and dealing with stuff with Bitcoin, and Kip would be with LaFonda in Detroit, right, with a bunch of kids, and he's all roided out, Jeez! And he's still got braces just because it's cool, and Pedro would probably be married to Summer Wheatley, and maybe they would have like maybe 4 kids, 5 kids, maybe twins, right? Jose and Jose. And he would probably be he'd be a citizen, and he'd probably study to become a lawyer, and maybe or maybe a private investigator along with Summer. It'd be Sanchez and Sanchez. The case. It would be like, I guess I'll build her a case or something. So he'd think about like running for office in Preston, Idaho. And just making everyone's wildest dreams come true. And then he would see that his friend is dealing with some dire need, so he would help him out, and it'd be the adventures of Napoleon and Pedro again. So that's a possibility, right?
Sounds like you just named the sequel. The Adventures of Napoleon.
Yeah. So if it happens, you're like, hey, you heard it here first.
Yep.
Or second. I don't know. It all depends if we're in the multi-universe or not. So So we'll see. All right. Any next question?
Where did Tina come from?
Tina Majorino?
No.
The llama.
Yeah.
Well, Tina Majorino started with Waterworld, and she had the map on her back. She was so great. She was so cute in Karina. Andre Little Steel movie. And so Tina is actually, I'm hoping that she's still alive. I heard llamas only live for like 20 years. So it's been about 20 years since the movie, so.
Yeah.
I think the funeral service was today. Dang, I'm here with you guys. Well, I don't have much to say, but the llama was pretty sweet. Yeah, she was kind of fuzzy, like my Aunt Concha's beard. What? I will say, so the director kind of grew up with that llama. The llama actually belonged to his mother. His mother's name is Christmas, and the llama's actual name is Dolly. Hence, the Dalai Lama.
That's crazy.
I know, right? And I was like, Dalai Lama. I go, wait, your mom's name is Christmas? So, speaking of which, the outside house of Napoleon is different from the inside of his house, because the inside of the actual house belonged to some woman who had passed away, and she had passed away like in the 70s. So they wanted to shoot it, but when they opened up the door, it was filled with cobwebs and sheets everywhere, and she had passed away around Christmas time. So they had presents and a tree, everything, and it was just as is, and no one had touched it for like, I don't know, 25 years. And I thought like, what's in those presents? I know my mind goes somewhere else. I shouldn't be asking these things. I'm sorry. You know, so. but who knows? You know, and we just recently did the 20th anniversary over at Sundance, and so John Heater and I went back to Preston, Idaho, and we were in Preston, Idaho, and I thought like, maybe we should stop by that house. It'd be like almost 50 years, right? It was just like too weird, you know. And so, but we did go back to the high school, and when we were at the high school, we saw some students, and like, hey, those two look like Pedro and Napoleon. And so we're like, it's because we are. You know, it's weird.
You should have the voice on.
Yeah. Hello, I'm looking for my tot or something. So, next question. Yes. Yeah, man.
How long did it take you to realize that the movie had become such a beloved movie?
Oh, I think you'd be going, how long did it take you to grow that mustache? Well, a couple of days. So, what's the question? Oh, okay. I think there was, when we were at Sundance, there was a moment where we were screening at one of the big theaters, and we were on our way there, and we saw a huge line of people wanting to get in, and we're like, oh, are we early? And they're like, no. These are people who are trying to get in just in case if there's a seat available. I'm like, what? So when we went into the theater, it was sold out, and I was like, oh man, okay. And there was a dead silence, and I thought, okay, all right. And then they're watching the movie, and then we hear a couple of chuckles, and then they start laughing, and then people really got into it, and everybody loved the film. And the lady, who was right behind John Heater and me, she's like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest movie ever. You're gonna be great. You too. This is great. Oh, Napoleon, you're fantastic. I'm like, who's this lady? And I look, and it was Faye Dunaway, and I'm like, whoa. And I go, dude, that's Mommy Dearest. I thought, wow. Okay, I guess we got Mommy Dearest approved. So I was like, can I use a wire hanger? So I have questions for you about network. But it was once that happened, when we found out that several studios were fighting each other to buy the movie, again, I went, oh, that's great, but what does that mean? I still had no idea. But then we found out that one studio bought it, and then two other studios came on board. It was Fox, and then MTV and Paramount, and they bought the international rights as well as the national rights, and it just changed everything. And so when it started to get promoted, and we started to see a lot more, there was a moment when I walked into the mall with my friends, and my friend was like, hey, you may want to check out Hot Topic. I go, what are you talking about? So we go in, and I see a whole wall of Vote for Pedro t-shirts, the blankets, the lunch pails, the stickers, the socks, the chonies, and the hats. I went, what the heck? And then my face was everywhere. And then it took some dude to go, one dude went, hey, you're Pedro. And I went, yeah. And then I got swarmed by so many people. And then security came in and they pulled me out. They took my friends and me out. And they said, all right, good luck with your life. And I was like, thanks. My friend's like, great, now we can't go shopping. And they're like, well, thanks. I don't know you like shopping, but and then I started to see like a bunch of celebrities. I saw Denzel Washington wearing a 4 for Pedro t-shirt, and Tom Cruise was talking so much about it while he was shooting War of the Worlds, and then like all these actors would come up to me and I'm like, there was a moment when I was at Sundance, right? And I'm sitting next to Steve Buscemi on one side and Daniel Day-Lewis next to me, and we're talking about acting, and then Kathleen Keener pulls me away and she's like, oh my God, you're Pedro. I'm like, what, don't you know, that's Daniel Day-Lewis, dude. Like, dude, like what the heck? And so it was so amazing to see how much has changed people's lives, and they were just so drawn to it. And I thought, like, maybe this might mean something, and I started to work more as an actor. It's like, I was working on plays, and so you don't really think much of the other side of the world, or the other side of the coin per se. Like the whole celebrity status. It was different, for me. There was moments when I would go out and I would meet Paris Hilton and Lindsay Lohan and Leo, DiCaprio and just all of that. And I'm like, this other side of the world is so crazy. And I go, okay, that's cool. Funny enough, when I saw Leo, I said, hey, we used to go to the same school. There was a school in Los Angeles, in Van Nuys. It was called the Young Actors Space. And him and Tobey Maguire were studying in one room, and I was studying with a bunch of other actors in another. So it's amazing that, it's like, I never thought about this whole celebrity thing in Hollywood Hills. And I looked at that and I went, that's bananas. I need to get back into the theater. I need to get back into the work and working with writers and directors and spending time with studios and talking about future projects. So there was a moment when I saw Anthony Hopkins at a premiere, and Sir Anthony flipping Hopkins, and he had a book for Pedro button, little button on his coat. And he's like, yes, you are the one who played Pedro. And that was my brain. So I said, don't eat me. And instead of laughing, I go, you're amazing. And it's like, cool. And then I worked on a project called Mr. and Mrs. Smith with Doug Liman. And I spent time with Brad Pitt, and I spent time with Angelina Jolie. And they just really told me about the work. And as rambunctious as that other life can be, it's really important that you stay focused on doing good work, so that you guys, when you watch a movie that I have done or anybody has done, that there is between something that's good and something that's okay. I myself get so excited. I'm excited to see the new Aliens because I have a few friends in that movie. It's only when they ask me, hey, how'd I do it? I'm like, it was either good or. So I'm excited to see what the future will bring, especially with the new stuff that I'm doing, which I could kind of lightly talk about. So yes, next question. Yes.
Yeah. Was the dance scene improvised, or? Well, I have two questions. One, was the dance scene improvised in Napoleon, or was it improvised? And the second one is, out of all the celebrities that you've met and interacted with, who would you say was your biggest, like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm talking to this person, either male or female?
Yeah. Okay. John Heder is he's a badass. That guy's awesome. He did all the drawings himself. Oh. All those drawings he did. Him and his twin brother were studying to be artists, illustrators, in college, and that's how they befriended the director. And in their friendship, the director was shooting short films. There was a moment when John Heder, the director Jared Hess, was trying to shoot a short film called Peluca, and he really wanted to use one specific actor for the job, and but just a student. But every time he would put him on camera, who was like Napoleon, every time he would put him on camera, he would just become somebody else. So they couldn't use him. So he talked to John Heaton, and he was like, "Can you behave like that, dude?" Right? And John was like, "Yeah." So, and that's how that happened. So when they did a short film called Peluca, John Heater's character, he did it. There was two characters. There was Pedro and Gail, and they shot that film for $700. They took it to a film festival and they won the People's Choice Awards or something like that, like the Audience Awards, and they wanted to make it into a big feature film. When they made it into a big feature film, the director told him, "Hey, listen, the big finale at Act 3 is going to be all you." And John's like, "What do you mean? What are you talking about? Gosh." So, and he said, "Yeah, the whole dance sequence is going to be all you." And John's like, "Yeah, no pressure." So it's all him. And I remember the day of, because I had to do my whole speech and everything in front of nobody. and then John requested for everybody to get thrown out. So we were all kicked out. And it was just the director, the producer, and the camera operator with the music. And they picked, I think they picked 3 songs. It was Jamiroquai, Michael Jackson's, I think, Thriller, and some other song. And so, but John Heater, it was all him. He did all those dance moves. I will say the beginning parts, the opening sequence of the dance, Tina Majorino, who was a dance instructor, taught him that. So taught the whole opening, but everything else was all him. And when they cut it together, Jeremy Kuhn, who was the executive producer of the film, put it all together in this small apartment in Los Angeles, and every day they were just working on it, so that they could turn it into the Sundance Film Festival. So, but he was super, John is super creative. He's an artist, and there's a moment in the movie when I'm running for the election, and there's a picture, we're passing out flyers, and there's a picture of me riding on a dragon, and it says "Reach for the Stars" with Pedro. I saw him do it that exact day, right? They're like, "Well, we need a picture," and John was like, "I could do it." And I saw him, and I'm like, "Dude," and that was that. They made copies of it, and they're like, "All right, let's shoot that." There you go. Let's just go. So yeah. And as far as actors are concerned, artists, golly. I mean, there's so many. I was just yesterday, I was talking to another actor. I was talking to Dee Wallace, and I kind of want to go to Dee Wallace and go, "You know who you are?" I love you, you're amazing, E.T. and The Howling. So, I truly love it. I wanted to see you turn into a full-on werewolf. So, but even meeting David, the governor, right? He's amazing. And Dana, who besides Ash versus Evil, I had worked on a series with her, and she's remarkable. I marvel at the fact of having to meet artists, because they see something deeper sometimes. Spending time with Daniel Day-Lewis, or I got, I was leaving my agency's office, and then I would get in the elevator. I'm there with my business manager. And so the elevator door opens up, and who's in there? It's Jeff Bridges. I'm like, and then she's a bit, she sees Jeff Bridges, she's like, I'm like, all right, I'm looking at her like, "Hey, stay cool, man, stay cool." I go, "Hey, Jeff Bridges, I did a movie called Napoleon Dynamite." She's like, "Hey, man, how's it going?" I'm like, "Dude, you're the dude. You're in Tron. Oh my God, you're in King Kong. Oh my God, you're Crazy Heart." So, I totally geek out. I totally fan out myself. When I saw Kevin Spacey, I was like, "Dude, American Beauty. You're like, yeah, you're just awesome." There's so many. When I met what's her name? She plays. You can help me out here. She's the mom in Beetlejuice. And Home Alone. Catherine, yeah. I saw her, and she's like, just like at Home Alone, Kevin. She's like, from like a block away. I hear Pedro. I go, wait, I know that voice. And it's her. And I'm like, oh my god, I love you. You're amazing. You're amazing. So yeah, I totally geek out. Or like when I'm doing chemistry reads with other actors, you go to the studios because you don't know. You just know that you're playing the character, whatever. And they're doing a chemistry read, and you're like in negotiations with your lawyers and their lawyers, and blah blah blah, right? And I'm like, yeah, 40 pages of lines, I got it, you know. So, but when you show up to set and you meet the other actors that you're doing a scene with, and I'm like, oh. I go, I'm such a big fan, you're amazing. They're like, yeah, you too. I'm like, thank you. I go, okay, let's refocus. I go, all right, cool. Go. So it's so exciting to see. When I did Lightyear, you know, they go, the captain wants to meet you. I go, what are you talking about, the cat? I was like, oh, Captain America wants to meet the president, dude. I was like, this is amazing. Oh, I love you. It's amazing. I'm like, stop nerding out. Stop being a geek. So, you know, there's a series, a show that I did. Called Monsters of God, and it took me like, that sounds so serious. So, and Monsters of God took place during the Civil War, and I was working with these amazing actors, you know, and I'm like, okay, don't be the weakest link, don't be the weakest link. So, but, you know, I get fascinated. There's a moment when because it took place during the Civil War, where the director invited me to go to Video Village. And for those of you who don't know, Video Village is where they have all the monitors and they get to see on the other side of the camera lens what it looks like and what it sounds like. And I was watching them, and it took me away from the world of. And I was just so marveled at what they were doing. And I'm like, wow, I'm back in the Civil War. So, and then it took me away, and I go, dude, get out of here. And I go, I can't do that. I can't look at the world from objectively, you know, I got to go in it and live in that world. But besides acting, Napoleon Dynamite has allowed me to travel the world in such a way where I meet so many people on this planet who have done such incredible things. You know, I did a series where I played an astronaut, so I was able to meet a physicist and people who were studying singularity and the black hole. And astronauts, and I'm like, they're like, what you do is incredible. I'm like, you know, dude, you've been to outer space, dude. Like, what? So I get to meet incredible people, you know, everywhere I go, and I'm, you know, that's why for all of you guys, if you get a chance to just go travel all over the country, right? Go meet people, because people are fascinating. Yeah. Yes. So yes.
Yes, sir. What I was amazed about was, how did you come up with the idea to play Pedro the way you did? Because, I mean, obviously you played him, but you're not him. But how did you do that? 2 different personalities, like your real self and him. That's incredible.
I have so many jokes on this right now, but
okay. I just
but I'm being recorded, so I'm legally to say. I go NyQuil. No, I'm kidding. I'm taking NyQuil. Hello, how's it going? So,
because you became a different person.
Possession. Part of it is you know if you haven't seen Palooka, watch it. Because there's 2 characters in the movie that Napoleon has to deal with, and one is Gabe, and the other guy's name is Pedro. So the director's first day, or day 1, he goes, I want you to put these 2 characters and make them into one. And I'm like, sure, no problem, thanks. But I thought, in acting, you learn, you're taught to find a specific word that will define your character. And I thought, something like Pedro, it would be hope. So, and he was so new. And you're also taught about archetypes. You know, what is your character like? And in my case, I tried putting Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin, and my girlfriend's dog, who had been hit by several cars.
Oh.
Yeah, and the poor dog's like, yeah. Yeah, and I thought, if I combine these three and put them into one, you know, and there's a downside of his demeanor. And then I couldn't do him like this because then he sounds like cartel, you know. So I kind of raised the voice, and then I started talking like this or something, you know. And then because even at the audition, I remember I was doing this. I was doing like the third scene. I'm doing the whole speech, right? And I go, okay, all right. I go, well, I don't have much to say, but I hope you vote for me or something. And the director goes, all right, stop. I'm like, oh, I messed this audition up. I go, well, I guess it's time for me into the circus. So, he's like, I want you to go slower. I go, okay. Well, I don't have much to say, but I hope the people will stop. What now, dude? He goes, slower. I was like, does Pedro have a condition? Like, am I reading this wrong? So I was like, all right, I don't have anything to say. Okay. Well, I don't have much to say, but I hope the people vote for me or something, you know. And then after I was done with the speech, they go, okay, thank you. And I go, thank you. and then I get up. It was still quiet. I get up and I'm like, all right. And then I left and I'm like walking Fox Studios and I'm like, man, what kind of audition was that? I go, all right, whatever. And then I ended up booking the job, and I thought, like, wow, okay. And I wasn't so sure about the job, again, until I showed up day one on set. You know, day one, you know, it's like, you know, I see John with his hair and glasses, and like, hey, is it Pedro? I'm like, what kind of movie am I doing? All right, cool, man. This might be really good. So yeah, but you even with Crank, you know, I did an action film with Jason Statham, and then the sequel, the directors go, okay, here's who you're playing. I go, yes. Your character, first of all, you gotta get in shape because you look like, you know, kind of bugged. I'm like, thanks, guys. So I just did a movie where I had to get really bad. So, and it's great. I did a movie called Walkout. And I'm playing this really guy named Bobby Verdugo, and he's a big guy, you know. So I was like, great, I get to eat whatever I want. That's great, like ice cream, give more pizza, more spaghetti, you know. But then I did Crank, and I'm like, oh god. And I don't know if you guys know what this is, but I did something called the Master Cleansing. Do you guys know what that is? So Master Cleansing, for those of you who don't know, some of you guys are writing notes. So it was literally cayenne pepper, lemon, and sea salt, and maple syrup. And for like nearly 2 weeks, I nearly died. I was like going, oh my, I was like starving, and I was like going, but I got ripped really quick. and then they're like, okay, your character's be, he's got full body Tourette's, and you're gonna learn how to ride a motorcycle, and you're gonna learn Kung Fu. I said, how much time do I have to work in this movie? You got 1 month. They're like, God. You know, and so you really develop characters. You know, I worked on a CBS show called FBI Most Wanted, and they wanted me to play Colombian cartel, and I was like, who do you want me to play? Yeah, right. But then I read the script, I was like, yeah, I like this role. So, especially because you're playing a villain. And so I said, let me have a meeting with the director and the executives. And they're like, wait, we gotta talk to higher ups. And I got approval. They flew me out to New York. And I told the director, I go, can I play my character, even though he's Colombian cartel, but can I play him like Richard III? They go, what? Yeah, because creatively, you get to really explore the dimensions of how far a character is willing to go to get what he wants. You know, to what speed. Characters lead emotionally or mentally. You know, they're stuck through the traumas. Sometimes they're lost. Sometimes they're extremely ambitious. You know, the only reason why I was able to do the Monsters of God was because I had worked on a play by a playwright by the name of Neil LeBeau about a relationship between a brother and sister, and they were going through hell. And that character I was playing was so lost, and that there's a moment where I just didn't want to do that play anymore. But that allowed me to find the character in Monsters of God. So it's like every time I do a play, I explore new worlds and new characters, and I'm hoping that some of the characters I play in films are memorable so that you could remember them and go, yeah. I have a movie out next year called Seven Cemeteries with Danny Trejo. And I'm dead. Is there anything I have to say about? No, that's all I can say about that. So, but I'm always reading scripts, and I'm jumping into a drama in September, October, and that's the only thing I'm allowed to say. So, yeah, without getting yelled at, right? Camera operators, right? If I say anything that's not allowed, can you please cut it? Thanks. Right. Yes. How much time do we have left?
We've actually went over time.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, I could talk to you guys forever and just have a conversation with you guys. But we have a quick yes/no questions since I'm sorry for going overtime. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Okay. I've never seen your movie.
Oh, congratulations. Oh, I'm sorry.
If you had to describe it to me, how would you, without telling me?
Yes.
Anything, tell me something.
Good luck. Well, if you watch my movie, all of your wildest dreams will come true. There you go. And you're gonna love LaFonda's family. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Yes. Any other questions? Quick questions? Yes.
Would you, if given the chance, would you ever work with Fluffy?
Oh, I love Gabriel. Gabriel Iglesias, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually, even before he became Fluffy, he was auditioning for movie parts and TV shows. So I would see him all the time, and we would look at each other and go, is this ever gonna happen? I went to the same schools with Mila Kunis and Wilmer Valderrama, and Jessica Alba. We all know each other, and we look at each other like, dude, this is what, I went to school with Dante Bosco and he's Rufio. Right? So it's like he's in The Last Airbender, right? So it's amazing to see my friends become so remarkable at the work that they do. And Gabriel is the fact that he's doing stand-up comedy for millions of people now. When I remember when he was just doing stand-up for 20 people, like a fourth of this crowd. So and he's just such a remarkable human being. Of course, I wish everything for all the best to him. Yes. Next question. Yes.
Is Jason Statham as cool as he seems to be?
Dude, he's badass. He's Jason. He'll always be Chelly for me. Yes.
Do you have a dream role that before you die, I have to play this character or
yes.
in this franchise?
There was a script that was sent to me back in 2000. There was two scripts. Okay, one was Salvador Dali, and they wanted me to play him a lot. After Pedro Sánchez, they go, I could do that, but then Two Universals pulled out, and the studios just canceled it. It was about over $20 million, and I was going. You want to play who? And there was another one where they wanted me to play Moctezuma, the Aztec king of Mexico. And so I was I called my agent and said, I'm not playing the Aztec king of me. Yeah, right. No way. And they called the studios called my agent we wanted him to come in. I go, yeah, right. So I didn't care, but they kept on bringing me in. And I would go in, and then when I tested, I did it in Nahuatl, I did it in Spanish, I did it in English. It was I was dude, what? And then COVID hit, and then we never shot it. Aww. I know, right? Pedro becomes the Aztec king. Hello, the Spaniards are coming. So yes. Any other questions on this side? Yes.
Real quick, what's your favorite part of Napoleon Dynamite? Your favorite scene?
Working up day one? No, I think my favorite scene is the stake throwing scene because I just remember being on the bike, and then when I was on the bike, there was a moment. John Grice was so nice, and he was hitting John on the shoulder and his leg, and he was John Hader was like, just hit me in the face, gosh. And then Uncle Rico goes, all right, I will. Give me a bigger piece of meat. So, and I'm thinking like, is this really gonna happen? And so when he chucked it so hard, he smacked him so hard in the face. There was I was supposed to stay in the scene, but I was laughing so hard inside. I go, that's why I go, I better go, because I got out of frame because I was busting up, man. Oh yeah. So that's my favorite. Yes?
What's something you wish you knew about the industry when you started?
There's so many jokes on this right now, but I'm not. Okay, joke-wise, the Illuminati, of course. That's all. Okay, on the real, the Illuminati. No, I'm kidding. Okay. No. Really? That's hard. No. It's okay to make mistakes, because that's how you're gonna learn. There's moments when I try to be so perfect, I'm like, dude, relax. It's like, don't. I remember I was test screening with, I'm not allowed to say. And I was like, she goes, you're so adorable, kid. I go, really, you think I could do this? Yeah, I embraced it. She's like, oh my God. Yes, just keep going to school, okay? Okay, you're amazing. I love you in Scarface. So that's all I can say. So, but yeah, that anyone can do this. But you gotta, whatever you want to be in your life, however you want to live your life, live it fully. Do good, be good. There are moments that you're so on point, and there are moments, we all go through it where we just go, ugh. I just woke up on the wrong side of the bed today, whatever. And that's okay too, that's part of life. Some days you feel out of it, some days you're so connected, and that's okay. Go do things that kind of scare you. I'm not saying go rob a bank, but go explore the world, go have new experiences, but go live your lives, besides doing the Comic-Cons, go to an air show, go to a museum, go watch a play. Right? Go to the beach. Go to another state and explore. Right? Because this is your life. Make smart choices. Make smart mistakes. Don't make a dumb mistake. I didn't know it's expired. Yes. Don't mix milk with lemons. Okay? One more question and then I'm out. Thank you. Great. All right. All right. Thank you very much, guys. Love you guys. Thank you. Now see you guys out there or somewhere in the world. All right. Bye, guys.